Hello, everybody. It's Darlene. How's it going? Happy Monday. Did everybody have a good weekend? I missed you on Friday night. I was not able to do my sip and sew because we were traveling and then all the things. So it's really nice to be with you this evening. I hope everybody had a great weekend. Mine was busy. We got back from Seattle and then we immediately, I went into a little event that I had said I would do locally, and then Saturday I had a really big featherweight spa day here. So yeah, I think I need another weekend after my weekend. All right, let me pull up my feeds and then I'll say hi to just a few friends. By the way, I had we're going to call it an interesting comment on YouTube this afternoon about saying hi to a couple people. The reason why I do it is these are my buddies. So it just takes a few minutes. I promise I always have good stuff to say, important, juicy content afterwards. But if you would just allow me the luxury of being able to say hi to a few friends, I appreciate it. That's really the reason why I get on, is because I know my buddies are on here. So introduce yourself. I'd be happy to say hi to you. All right, let me go to here and then let's see, Facebook, YouTube. Okay. I gotta turn down my sound. How do I turn down my sound? Okay, let's see here. We have Molly's on from Spokane. Hi. Pam's on from Maine. Molly says she's getting a quilt top back and backing ready for the long arm tomorrow. Nice. Very nice. All of a sudden, my long arm calendar is very full. I left for Seattle last week and I went from 0 orders to 15 orders in 1 week. Yikes. All right, we have Kathy is on from East Texas and Shirley Smith is on from snowy Minnesota. Hi, thanks for hanging out with us. Hi, Christine from Massachusetts, and Missy's on from Redmond. Karen's on from California. Nice. All right. Well, tonight's topic is actually going to be kind of some nuts and bolts of quilting, if you will. A lot of people feel like the featherweight requires some special stuff, and it really doesn't. You can use a very similar quality and, like needles and all of that. People feel like the featherweights take some kind of special needles. They really don't. In order to talk about needles, we kind of have to talk about thread first. Thread is also very kind of subjective. Some people like polyester, some people like cotton, some people like organic cotton. I use a lot of Orifil in my featherweight, and I also do quite a bit of Superior, the 50 weight poly, which is the So Fine. It's low lint. It doesn't leave a lot of it doesn't have a sheen to it, so it looks like a more natural cotton. I don't know what's going on with my Facebook feed. Are you guys still on there, or everything was disconnected earlier? Oh, we are going to do, Molly says, would you consider doing another table runner sew along after the holidays? I can guarantee I already have something in the works for January. No problem. All right, so let's talk about needles. If the featherweight likes a 50 weight cotton thread, which it does like a 50 weight cotton thread, the thread dictates the needle size. So our needles that I like to use are the Schmetz needles. They are the one with the pink backed cardboard, and they have a green line on them. 7511s would be great to use with the 50 weight cotton thread. And then you have, hi guys, hello. Okay, good. Some reason Facebook is like just not a lot of you out there tonight. I don't know what's going on. Hi, Karen in Ohio. Anyway, so the green band needles are the quilting needles, and they are specifically for piecing and quilting through multiple layers. Hi, Elizabeth Sowers. I hope you and Maggie are well. Odie's on too. Hi, Odie. So multiple layers of cotton batting and backing. So these are the ones that I like. They do not take anything special. So just the Schmetz, 7511s, 8012s, 9014s. 94 teams being a bigger needle. Therefore, if you are using a heavier weight thread, and weights of threads are kind of tail backwards. So if you have a 50 weight thread, it's actually finer than a 30 weight thread. Isn't that interesting? Hi, Deanna. Nice to meet you in person last week. And Polly's on in UK. Okay, all my buddies are out there. All right. So now that we've talked a little about threads, well, there's a little bit more about a thread I want to talk about. This is a thread stand, and I use it with my modern machine and my featherweight. And there is a bit of a stigma with people that want to use Aurifil, which is a cross-wound thread. If you stick this on top of the featherweight and you pull, see how the thread is unwinding as it goes? That's kind of a no-no with the featherweight because of the way the thread flows through the tension plates. You really want it to come off the top like this, therefore not putting a twist in it, and it really does promote a lot more even tension with the threads on the featherweight. So if you're using a cross-wound thread, you really want to use some kind of a stand and not use it on the top of the machine. There are a couple of thingamabobs. Oh, did you get my email? Odie says, did you get my email about markings on feet? I don't think I got an email from you, Odie, last week. Hi, Lisa Meadows. Anyway, so there are a couple little thingamabobs that have been kind of created to help with this even flow of thread. There's one that goes in like an oil hole on the featherweight. I don't love that one just because it doesn't really fit in all oil holes. Some of the oil holes were not the same diameter, and so it doesn't sit well in the machine. Holly says thread stands are a must for every stitcher's toolkit. I totally agree. This is the one that we carry on our website. It collapses down into pieces and goes flat, and it's not heavy, but it's metal, so it's not going to break on you. I used to have a wooden one, and it it ended up snapping. Yes, resend Odie for sure. Anyway, so Aurifil, there also is another gadget that it's like either a Dritz or like a clover. It's a notion, and it kind of clips onto the side of the spool pin and then holds the spool container this way. Also, not particularly a fan of anything that clamps onto that spool pin on the top of the machine because it's a machined part. It's pressed on there, and once it starts to wobble, it'll eventually snap off, and any kind of side pressure on it will, will give it, it'll shorten its life basically. So I don't prefer the ones that clip on and sits out to the side either. So, and that's only on cross wound threads. It's not on, like, I don't think Gutermann is a cross wound thread. I think that's straight, and Coates and Clark is straight. It's just for the ones that look like, do you guys see the cross woundness of that? Okay. So that's threads, how it sits on the featherweight, what needles to use. And again, the needles are kind of important. They're very disposable. If you have done an entire quilt and quilted an entire quilt, it is time to change your needle. If you hear a thud, 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 thud every single time your needle goes through the fabric, your needle is way too dull and you're tearing in through your fabric and leaving big holes in there. Thank you, Lisa, for putting the link in the feed. I appreciate you. Ray is out today. She's in Montana for a few days at a bachelorette party, so my little assistant is not around. Anywho, so that leads to our batting discussion. So batting is one of those things where it's kind of what I call dealer's choice. It's at the discretion of the person who is either giving or getting the quilt. Wool battings are definitely kind of luxurious, but a lot of people are allergic to wool. So if you don't know, I would definitely not. Oh, Gutermann and Moon are cross wound. Okay, so it's definitely Coates and Clark that is not cross wound. Thank you, Polly. So just know the specifications for your batting before you get started. For instance, I buy all of my batting on the roll, and I buy warm products. My big assistant is here. Yes, what would I do without you? So cotton battings in general, this is a generalized statement, can usually be quilted further apart than polyester battings, and I'm talking about for utilitarian purposes. So if you are, just trying to get a quick and dirty quilt done and you just want to sew on the crossbars of the blocks, if your blocks are 6 inches big, then you're fine to just stitch in the ditch and run through the blocks, and it will be structurally sound through the laundering process. If you I'm not talking about quilting for like decoration. I'm talking about quilting for utilitarian purposes. Every batting manufacturer has a specification on the outside of their package. And so I had this dropped off today. This is a Hobbs 100% unbleached cotton. And it says right on the front of it, quilters may quilt up to 4 inches apart. There you go. So Hobbs put it right on the outside of their package. I can tell you Warm Company products like Warm and Natural can be quilted every 8 to 10 inches. And when it comes to Shirley Smith. When it comes to polyester, it usually does have to be quilted closer, like every 4 to 6 inches. Shirley Smith says, I have to share. My husband knows you by voice. He just said from the other room, is that Mrs. Featherweight? Hi, Mr. Smith. There's a lot of husband lurkers in the background. So thank you, husbands, for being so supportive of your or of your wives' featherweight infatuation. You're not threatened by their machine attraction or enthusiasm. Anyway, so yeah, so I tend to use Warm and Natural on my quilts. I like Warm and Natural products because they are kind of weighty, and I like weighted quilts. So like, especially here in the great North Inland tundra, known as North Idaho, I usually have several quilts piled up on all of the beds actually by this point in the year, because it's like, 20 overnight. And I like the weight of them. There is, when I lived in Arizona and I did not want a weighty quilt. In fact, I didn't want a quilt at all. Hi, Peyton. I see you out there. I would use there was a manufacturer on the East Coast. What was it called? Quilter's Dream. And they have weights of cotton. So they had like a summer weight. And that was the one that I used when we lived in Arizona because it wasn't too hot to sleep under. Hi, Mary Carnes. Thanks for tuning in. So yeah, that's kind of how. Peyton, don't freak me out. Peyton's on here, y'all. The Candyman is on here, and he's like popping on and off. Are you ready for the Christmas fair yet? No, I'm not ready for the Christmas fair yet. Thanks for stressing me out. I'll be by Friday though. Hi, Lee Freeman. How's it going? Anyway, so that was kind of all I had for you tonight. We haven't had this conversation probably in a good year. So there's probably enough new people on here that, that was good and new information for you. Good. I'm glad I'm not the only one ready, Peyton. She says, neither am I. This weekend, for all of you all in North Idaho, is the Bonner County Christmas Fair at the Bonner County Fairgrounds. And Featherweight Doctor or Sand Creek Quilting will be there for the first time ever. It is one of the most stellar little quilt craft fairs I've ever been to. They don't charge for parking. They don't charge for entrance. It's just a way to check all of your Christmas list items off in one stop. I mean, clearly Peyton will be there. Yes, Peyton is still at the bridge. He is. The landlord is working with him. So that's awesome. Let's see. Lisa says you just haven't had enough chocolate to be ready yet. It's true. It's true. I totally miss working upstairs from Peyton, because anytime you would start making caramel, the smell would waft up into my suite, and then I'd be downstairs. He would have a guaranteed customer every time he made caramel. For sure. Polly says, do you like thick duvets under your quilts in the US, or is that just a UK thing? There are some of my clients do like their down duvet covers. And so what I do for them when I'm doing their quilting is I quilt their quilt top to a piece of muslin. with a cotton batting, so it has its body to it. And then I make a pocket with the actual batting for the duvet to slide into. And then you have that quilted look, but then you have the down duvet closer to your body to help keep in the body heat. Peyton says he has to make 400 apples for this weekend. Oh my gosh. 401. Darlene would like a reservation, please. All right, friends. Well, I had a great conclusion to a class today. My neighbor across the street came and found me the minute we got there and really wanted to learn how to quilt. She's a young lady. And so it's been really fun to walk her through the process. We were assembling her quilt today. It was really cool. I love seeing kind of the conclusion for a new quilter, and that their eyes kind of light up when they realize what they've done. It makes it makes me really love my job. So there you go. So anyway, well, I should have a regular week this week. I'm going to have load in for the craft fair is Friday afternoon, so I should be able to be back and be on camera. Bye, Peyton. Thanks for saying hi. So anyway, I'm going to jump off. I'll be back on Wednesday, 4:00 Pacific, right here on Facebook and YouTube. Thanks for hanging out with me for a few minutes. I appreciate you all very much. I'll see you on Wednesday.